welcome. Today we are looking at my classroom. Lots of things going on, lots of books. So I just want to give you an update where we are at, especially with my high schooler. I did a little update. I think last week I posted an update for my 5th grader, but I want to talk about my high schooler. So I hope you all follow along as we share. Hi, welcome. If you are new here, my name is Rachel. I am a homeschool mom to 4 boys I've graduated to. This school year, I have a 5th grader and a 10th grader, and I want to give you a little overview of where we are at and talk a little bit about my high schooler. I'm actually going to turn the camera around in a little bit and show you where we are with his credits and where we need to be, just to give you an idea of what that might look like. But I wanted to share about curriculum. As I showed you, I am going through a lot of books right now, trying to weed out, trying to narrow down, and that is really hard when you've been homeschooling. This is our 15th year, trying to decide on what to keep and what not to keep. But I do want to mention something. Now that I've been homeschooling this long, I'm realizing I probably should have sold stuff a little earlier on because things get updated. So things go out of date. So then they're really not worth as much. But you just don't know that when you're in the midst of it. So if you have a big span between ages, my first oldest were 2 years and then 3 years, but now I have like a 5 to 6 year span in grades for my 2 younger ones. So a lot of the curriculum is just outdated, and I'm in the midst of trying to decide, do I keep using the old versions, or do I make the purchase when I only have one left to update? So that is one reason I'm going through things, just trying to decide on what I want to do there. Wanted to share what was going on in the classroom here. We are finally feel like we are seeing the light at the end of the tunnel this school year, but it's not real bright yet, but we do see it. But I want to share some things about my high schooler and where we are at. I do want to share this one thing. He is using Heart of Dakota for his history and his government. He's actually using their US 1 guide. This is our first year doing this. My other 2 use something else. But for government, they are using Uncle Eric book, Whatever Happened to Justice. And this has been such a good book. And he actually was on a chapter, and I have it marked right here. He's like, Mom, you need to read this chapter. I think he really wanted me to read it because he asked me today, what did you think about it? And we really discussed and talked about things. It all came up with him bringing up the subject of higher law. The chapter was really just giving you a lot of insight of things that are not talked about in most textbooks. So it was really good. And I'm so thankful that these books are available. Now I do want to mention that even if you're not using Heart of Dakota, these books have guides to go with them so they can be used on their own. One of my boys actually used this along with some other things. His junior year, I think he did this for government. So I wanted to share that thought with you. For Heart of Dakota next school year for economics, they use a couple other books from Uncle Eric. And I actually have those. I found those used, didn't even know they were in the program, and I thought these look really good. But those 2 books, I'm so excited, were actually part of their economics for next school year. So I wanted to share that thought with you on government. And to me, I just thought it was great that he was coming to me and really grasping things, wanting to talk about them, and that's what you want. You want your boys to grow into young men and want to understand what's going on in the world. So he's really liking that book. Okay, so I also want to mention health. We are using Total Health, and I need to do a review on this. I do want to say, last time I think I found out that this is more of a 1-year credit. He only needs a half a credit for health. So he's just reading through it and taking the quizzes. So that is how that is working. And sometimes I have read it with him, but this has been going well. It's just a basic health curriculum, but it's simple to follow. So if you're just wanting to get a health credit in. Okay, I do want to bring up math, and I don't know if I mentioned this last time. He's actually using Matthew C, Algebra 2. Now, he went from Algebra 1 to Algebra 2. And that was out of the norm for me. And I think it's probably just out of the norm because I actually called them to see if that would be okay. And every child is different. And I just felt like I didn't want him to lose the rhythm of the algebra. And I think that's where my mindset was when I called them and said, hey, do we have to go to geometry next? Because that is sort of what's on their schedule. And she said, no, but there will be a lot of pages that will have review questions about geometry. You could probably just skip them. I'm like, okay, that sounds doable. But we are, I don't know, was he on 24 or 25? There's 30 altogether. I don't think it was earlier than that. And it really got into geometry review. Like the whole video was about geometry review. And he's like, I have not even done any of this. Like, even if they review it, he wouldn't have understood. So I had to go really think about, was the rest of the book like this? And it's not. But we went ahead. This is what I've decided to do, is to skip through that. But the next week, instead of skipping way ahead right away, I picked a lot of review pages out from the past, I don't know, few weeks. So he could just work on those, make sure he had everything down. And then we skipped all the way to 28. So he is going to be done with math pretty early because of that. I may take another week when he's completely done and do another week of review pages, because how Math-U-See works is there's, 5 or 6 pages per week. And usually you don't need to do them all because usually it's like 4 pages and then a test. So there's always pages left in there, which is great. So I think maybe that's what we'll do. I debated on jumping into their geometry because I do have the geometry and the DVD for that. But still up in the air about that, but I just know that we will probably not do it. But we do plan on doing this next school year. So if you are ever thinking about using Math-U-See and wondering if it could be switched, it can, but it's going to be a little bit hard at the end. But it's going to work out. It's going to be fine. And then we'll jump into geometry next school year. And he may take a dual credit for a math his senior year. Not sure about that. That's sort of what we're looking at. Okay, now, for writing and grammar, he's using IEW Level C, Year 1, and that is going good. He's working on the lesson of learning how to do a research for reports. So that is going really good. Just want to finish that up, and then he'll pick a specific person that he wants to do a report on. So that is going good, and then his grammar is the Winston Grammar Program, and he's just got that scheduled out throughout the year, trying to finish that up. For science, he's using the Biology 101, and that's probably going to be finished up early. He has a couple books he's reading with that, and I have a video all about that, and I'll link that below. The history is pretty much on schedule. Hopefully, we're looking at May, but I can't give an exact date of when we'll be finished, but I would say at least the 2nd, maybe 3rd week of May is what we're hoping for. I'm trying to think if there was anything else I wanted to update you on. We are also doing Science Shepherd's Unearthing the Bible, and that's going good, just watching the videos there. So that's a little bit of an extra that he's doing. He does Bible on his own. I do want to mention one other thing, and I don't feel like I mention it too much, is that my 10th grader does take piano. He's been taking piano third grade, on 2nd or 3rd grade. I can't remember. It's been a long time because each of my boys started at different times. So they've all done piano except, my youngest has done it 1 year. He's not doing it this school year. But my 10th grader now is the only one that's really stuck with it, and Lord just blessed him. So I'm thankful for that, and I'm counting that as a fine arts credit. So wanted to share that with you because I don't know if I talk about that particular subject, fine arts. It's one of those things that for us anyways, it's a required credit that needs to be done. There's all kinds of different things. My second son, he did photography, and I think he did like an advanced photography. I can't remember. But, all different kinds of subjects you can pick for fine arts. So, all right, I do want to turn the camera around and just share what is his requirements, where he's at with his credits, and what we're looking at for in the future, which will include dual credits. Okay, here we are looking at what his umbrella for our state requires, and then this is what they sent me for his 9th grade year, where he was like a transcript. So, and I had talked about what we were thinking about for our options, because our umbrella offers a college prep and also a general study path. Now, I've had my 2 oldest, one did the college prep and one did the general study path, and either one is fine. I feel like you can go to school or colleges either way. You just need to know what your college requires. So say you wanted to do the general study path and it's missing 1 or 2 things that the college you are applying for needs, you could still add those and not do this college prep path. And why you would choose to do that, I'm going to tell you why we are choosing to switch to the general study path, is because it'll give us, he will only need 1 foreign language, also his science. He will only have to do biology and physical science, which he has done both, and another high school level science. So we can pick and choose. We won't have to do chemistry or physics, which would be fine. It's just we will have more options next school year. Now, where he is at, and I've actually penciled this in because this is what he is doing this school year, and this is his grade. So if you want to know, English, American history, world geography, and then he'll have government also on here. I don't have that written down. Government and economics will be under history, physical science and biology, PE, fine arts, and really PE for us. I mean, he could have had a credit probably by now as much as he does. In fine arts, I'm only doing half a credit a year, so he'll probably actually end up with 2 credits by the end of his high school, because I'm giving him a half a credit each school year, which is fine, but only 1 credit is required. And then he will be adding to Bible, he'll have health done, he'll have French, that was his first semester, and then government will be half a credit. So just wanted to share where he is at. They will add to this each year. I just fill in a form online and they update it and they send it to me. So that is how my transcript works, if you are wondering. Gives you a grading scale. He's taken 7 credits his 9th grade school year. So they don't add to anything until the complete end of his 10th grade year, even though I've turned in grades halfway through the year already. So I'll turn in a grade in January and I'll turn one in by the end of June. And then they have test scores. And that is another thing I just want to mention real quick. They have to have a certain ACT score to graduate. Our umbrella is accepting a new test, which is called the CLT. It's an online test. This is new to us. I've looked at it a little bit, and that is something I really need to research out a little bit more, and more than likely my 10th grader will take that because the school he is going to will be fine with that. It's called CLT. So let me know if you're familiar with it, if your child is taking that instead of an ACT or an SAT. It's somewhat new. I just wanted to share this with you. I don't know if it helps you, let me know. And so this is what a transcript will look like. This will be completely filled out when he graduates, and they'll give us a final, everything, all his credits, grades, grade point average, all of that will be on here when he is done. So, and he will also get a diploma from the umbrella that we are under. So that's how that works for us. All right, I appreciate you all watching. I just wanted to share an update about my high schooler and where he's at and what we're looking at for in the future. He definitely will be taking at least a couple dual credits next school year. I will talk about that when I do my final 11th grade, which I cannot believe I'm saying that, 11th grade curriculum picks. So if you are interested and want to see that, and also I'll be doing one for my 6th grader, will be next year, he'll be in 6th grade, please subscribe And if this was helpful in any way, like this video, I'd appreciate it. And I hope you all have a wonderful week, and we will talk to you again soon.